Let us now study uh, electric dipole, that is a combination of two equal and opposite charges separated by some distance. This distance we show here like a distance 2L, and the positive charge and negative charge are having magnitude of Q. Such a combination will have tendency to align itself whenever you have some external field. Like for example, if you have a field present in the medium like this, and if you have your dipole randomly placed like this. So whenever you have a dipole placed randomly in the presence of some external field, so it experiences a force and align itself such a way to reach minimum energy position, and that would happen once it aligns itself in a direction opposite to that of field. This is the most stable position for this dipole. So because of this tendency for aligning itself in the presence of some external field or force, its property is known as electric dipole moment. That is basically the product of the charge magnitude, either of the charge magnitude, and the separation between these two charges. So this is what is typically written as P equal to the Q into 2L. Why are we using here a vector quantity? Because we recognize a particular quantity as a vector or a scalar only when we see that how it is behaving in the presence of some vector. So that is how I have given you an example. If you have an electric field that is a vector quantity present somewhere, and you have this dipole lying there, so how this dipole is going to behave will let you to understand that is it a scalar or a vector. So here dipole tends to realign itself in a direction opposite to that of field. Therefore, it is first of all known to be a vector quantity. And then this is also one interesting point, that this will have its direction opposite to that of field. It will have its direction opposite to that of field. So let us see, whenever we have a dipole, we have many possibilities in which a combined effect of this dipole, because of its constituent charges, a combined effect of the field production can be realized at some points in a space. So for all those possibilities, three broad categories are discussed here. One is the axial line case, when you have a dipole and you have a point of measurement lying on the axis of the dipole. The axis of the dipole is AB, what we show here. And then if we have some point P that is basically placed at some distance r from the center of the dipole, then this is the axial line case. We will be studying the electric field production, net electric field at this point P. And another possibility what we can have, that if you have the point of measurement P in the along the equatorial line corresponding to the dipole axis. So the equatorial line is PM, that is also bisecting the dipole axis AB. So if we have a point P like this, again we are expected to calculate the net electric field at this point P. The third possibility is that we can have this point P randomly placed anywhere. So in that case, you can have this point P like this, when you have any random position of this particular point P, and then this position will make some angle with respect to the dipole axis. Then again, we are expected to calculate the net field at point P. We will be studying all these three possibilities. Let us first go ahead and find out the field in case of in case one, that is of axial case. So if you see this diagram, here we have the dipole axis AB, that is basically having plus Q and minus Q charge, and the center of the dipole is having, let us write this center of the dipole as point M, and from this particular point, this point P is placed at some distance R. So at this point P, we'll be having the electric field contributions from both of these charges, plus Q and minus Q. This is the E positive is the field because of the plus Q charge. E negative is the field because of the minus Q charge. So this is how we write the expressions for both of these individual field contributions. The E positive vector is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R plus L square. AP cap, mind it that this AP cap is the direction for the E plus field. Similarly, if we write the E minus, so here we'll be having this direction PB cap, that is the direction for the E minus field. So we can see also from this expression that magnitude of E positive field is definitely lower compared to the E minus field because of the higher distance. So if we are expected to calculate the net electric field at P, so we have no hesitation in writing it like E net, that is basically E minus E positive, that has to be the net direction of the electric field. Also, these two fields now have been written in the direction of in the direction of P cap. This is very important for you to pay attention. Now, both of this whole expression has been written for this P cap direction. So let us go and solve it. So we know these are the common quantities that we have. Let us take it outside the parenthesis, and then our E minus distance is basically having this is the distance, and then we have this R plus L distance, and then we have this direction P cap. Now let us solve it further. This net electric field, we can further solve it like R square plus L square plus 2LR minus R square minus L square plus 2LR. And then denominator will be having this. Of course, we cannot miss this direction P cap, where this net field is actually oriented. So that is how we get now E net Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. What do we get here? I think this gets cancelled. And then we are just left with the 4LR upon R square minus L square, this whole square with P cap. So I'm just using the space on the right now. So we can further simplify it. We know that P is the dipole moment is written as Q into 2L. So we can use that here. Still we'll be left with this. With P cap. This is the expression for this electric field. And now, if we use one assumption that wherever this point P is there, where we are measuring this net effective electric field, if this point P is far placed compared to the dipole length, then of course its distance will further be very, very high. And that would mean that this denominator can be rewritten after avoiding this quantity L square. So we get this. So the power can be further readjusted, and then we get finally the net effective field at point P because of this dipole on the position P on its own axial line. So this is the electric field because of the dipole at its own axial position. Let us now see this case of electric field due to a dipole when the point of measurement P is on the equatorial line of the dipole. That is the line in a direction perpendicular to the dipole axis AB. Here at point A, we can see the charge minus Q is there, and at point B, charge plus Q is there. So there is a field E positive because of this plus Q charge at P. There is also a field E minus at point P because of this minus charge. So when two vectors are acting at some point, their resultant has to be in the middle of somewhere. Where it is actually, we'll find it out. We can say that okay, let this net resultant may have some direction theta with respect to this E plus. And let us start by writing these respective fields E plus and E minus. What are these? So we know that electric field due to a point charge at some point is written like this. This is the expression for the E plus charge. Likewise, we can write the expression of E minus charge. Here specifically, we have to write that this E minus field is oriented in a direction PA cap. This is not oriented in the direction EP cap, because in most of the cases, what do? We assume that whatever point of measurement is there, like point P is here in this case, is having a test charge that is of positive nature. Now, we can see that if we check the distances of BP and AP, these two are equal and equal to R square plus L square. As we can see that as point P is having a perpendicular on axis of dipole AB, we can just take this point M here. So distance PM is bisecting the dipole axis such that the distance MB is actually L. The distance PB is what we have, we cannot calculate using Pythagoras theorem. So this is what we obtain. And if we use these two distances in respect of these two expressions of E plus, E positive and E minus, we see that magnitude of both of these field is actually same. Both of these fields are having same equal magnitudes. So that does mean this E net whatever angle theta is actually being made by this resultant field with respect to E plus, the same angle has to be here. And this angle can also be calculated if we just take the cosine of the angle. So we can quickly write it like L upon under root R square plus L square. Why we have specifically preferred to write cos theta? Why not sin theta or tan theta? We'll just come to it. So as we can see that this net electric field can be written in terms of its components. So what are its components? Its components are E plus cos of the angle theta with a direction BA cap. And also it is having one more component, that is E minus of cos theta, again with the direction BA cap. What is this direction BA cap? We know that this AB is nothing but the direction of the electric dipole moment. So this BA cap, this direction BA cap will be the minus of this direction of BA cap. So we are just going to use it now. E net. What all are the common quantities are there? We'll take it out. This is what already common is there. And then we are left with double of the angle cos theta. And now we are also left with direction BA cap. Let us solve it further. So this is how we get the expression of net electric field because of this dipole on its equatorial line. Two, somehow we missed, it is also here. So this Q into 2L, we know that this is nothing but the electric dipole moment. And then in the denominator, we'll be having the power 3 by 2 for this. So again, using a familiar assumption that if whatever this distance where we are measuring this field, net electric field because of this dipole, if that distance is large compared to the dipole length, there is no harm if we choose the half of that dipole length. This is also going to give us the same condition. So in accordingly, what will happen? This R square quantity will be very high compared to this L square quantity. So using this, this L square that is basically coming in the parenthesis, we can just neglect it. So then we have this net electric dipole moment given to us like in the minus sign. So this is how we obtain the electric field because of a dipole on its equatorial line. This is really important to remember that this minus sign is indicating that whatever this net electric field is there is in a direction opposite to the net dipole moment.